as that continues to move up toward McAllister. So if you are in this area, do be advised for that as that continues to move through. Again, the Tulsa area, we're getting rain and thunder and lightning, but it's not to the extent of what we're looking at here with this particular grouping of the two cells. So the one is just near Stewart, and then we have the one now that's just east of Ashland. These are both moving to the northeast. Let's go back to Brandon, see if we can get an update from him. Brandon, if you would, give me an update on what you're seeing on this cell coming in off your south and west near McAllister.
Well, Travis, right now all we're seeing is just a wall of water. Right now we're just getting moderate rainfall. You're not going to be able to see this thing coming. It's going to be shrouded in rain. We've got a lot of intense lightning that's directly to our southwest associated with this particular cell. We may have to reposition a little bit further south to get a little bit better vantage point from behind it to get out of the range still, Travis. But right now, no winds and just light rain, and we're watching the storm very closely back to you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's get you in a position where we can see a little bit more, because that is one of those things we need to see a little bit more of. But at the same time, let's go ahead and show you radar again. So these are the active tornado warnings, and so that cell is continuing to move. It looks like, and Stacia, I'll talk to you in just a second, but it does appear like that's going to come up awful close into the McAllister area at this point. And then the other one, Vaughn is close to at this particular time as well. And so that's moving up past the Stewart area. Both of these have indications of, this one has better chunks of hail showing up with it, as well as strong indication of a rotation still here. Let's look at shear. Is that coming out of Fort Smith, or is that... Okay, SRX. So we got that. And then we have where Vaughn is located. And so then let's look at velocity data. So we're looking up into the storm. So you can kind of see we still have our S signature, which is not what we want. So there's a high probability of tornado potentially still moving to the northeast and getting ready to cross the county line. Vaughn is very close to that at this particular moment. Again, our cell service there, not so great. Sorry about that for you guys in Hughes County, but you might already know that. Here's the circulation feature, again, just south of Haywood. Stacia, what do you have on storm tracks on these, if you would give us an update there?
Now, I still have the storm track on this storm, this northwest of Kiowa. I don't know if the merger is going to slow this down or not. This is still our fastest moving circulation at north at almost 50 miles per hour. This is coming into Ward Springs now. Haywood right after that at 6:13, and then continuing on towards Scipio, western side of McAllister. That's by 6:23. And so for Scipio, Ulen, and we want to make sure you're in our track here. Scipio by 6:26, Ulen by 6:32. Trav.
All right, thanks. I appreciate that. Again, both of those are active tornado warnings that we have in the southwest part of our viewing area. Tulsa is not being affected by that at this particular moment. We do have indications, though, that moderate to heavy rainfall is falling around the Tulsa area. Not super bad at this particular moment, but there is quite a bit of water that is falling. So that just would lead to some flash flooding potential in the area, even though it's moderate rain and thunder and lightning. So just be aware of what's going on in the Tulsa area. If you do have to travel, if you can allow yourself another hour and a half or so, you might be okay. But if you're in southeastern Oklahoma, so I-40 south and east, really Muskogee, Okmulgee County is also included in this. But this is the area that we're most concerned with the circulation features, and especially the storm now that's just to the west of McAllister and the storm where Vaughn is located. Both these storms are coming together, and you can see what's happening. We had this separated. Now this line has moved in, so these are coming in together, so you'll be able to see how this is coming in and this line's coming into the east. This could accelerate or it could kill the thunderstorm that's rotating right now, but it is not changing. It looks steady state right at this particular moment, right in this area. In fact, if anything, there's probably dropping some chunks of hail with that. We're on the, and Brandon is just southwest enough. Is Brandon moving at all? Is he still sitting there?
We looked at things, and that's probably the best spot for him.
Okay. Okay, Brandon, if you would, give me another update from your location, because that's coming right at you at this moment. We'll try to see if we can get Vaughn back on the horn here in a minute. What do you have?
Well, Travis, still status quo. We're still in light to moderate rainfall, a lot of ponding here along 270. We're still looking in that southwest general direction where that cell's coming up towards us. Still don't have eyes on anything. We're on the rain shield side of it right now, Travis. Our winds have been anywhere from about 20 to 25. So we're going to let this come up to us and a little closer and give you a better perspective of what the winds are doing back
All
east.
right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right. Back to radar and what we're seeing with this right now. So this is just on the south and west sides of McAllister. And so we do see that they, again, strongest indications of this merging is happening right here near Haywood. And then that's going to be also, you see where Vaughn is located. And then Brandon's right here. So we're seeing the merging. He'll be able to see what's going on with that a little bit. Again, we say see. It's dark. And there's a whole bunch of rain, which doesn't help. But that's why we still like to get some good shots and some information. Do you know if Vaughn's back online yet, Aaron? Do you have, still not? Okay, hopefully here, once he crosses county line, he should be a little bit better shape. But this gives you an idea from McAllister. We're just about 6 miles to 7 miles southwest where the hail core is located. Velocity data still showing in this area as well. And the circulation feature is right in here. And so again, from around Haywood back in, so that's rotating enough. It's in a zone where shear is very strong. It's shear, we mean it helps spin up a lot of these storms. And so that's why we have to be concerned, because if anything drops out, it'd start causing some serious damage. We already have winds estimated 60, maybe up to 70 miles an hour in this zone. In our radars, because of the curvature of the earth, we kind of drop off as we go away from the radar site, so we don't get to look and sample right near the surface. And what we have been able to sample so far, though, is indicative of some strong winds that are moving across the depot area and the ammunition depot just southwest of McAllister right now. Stacia, what do you have for us?
I have another track on the storm just southwest of Haywood. So this will be tracking again on the west side of McAllister. So still moving very quickly up to the north. This puts it at Haywood around 6:13. It's just a couple miles now south of Haywood, rolling into town soon. Scipio by 6:27, Reams by 6:36, clipping again the western side right now of McAllister. But if it does get more of a shove to the east, that could take it into McAllister. So we're going to watch that very, very closely as we have Brandon there out on the west side of town. So that's what we're tracking here in eastern Pittsburgh County, Trav. It's about to get out of the warning, so we'll see if another warning is issued downstream.
Okay, good to know. We do have an active severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now for Pittsburgh County as well. And that's for 60-mile-an-hour winds and up to nickel-size hail. That'll be in effect until 6:30. At this time, we are sitting at 6:10, coming up on 6:11. And so that is one of the things that we're covering it no matter what. Also, when you have a thunderstorm like this, there's always a possibility of some wind damage or an isolated tornado because you are in a tornado watch area. Even for folks that aren't in tornado watches, you can still have a tornado. So that doesn't mean just because you're in a severe thunderstorm watch, you would never see a tornado. But what we are trying to say to you, though, is right now is that with this cell merger and what's happening right here is that we'll see how this interacts as it moves across western portions of Pittsburgh County. And you see right where Brandon is located, he's got a pretty good view of what's happening just to the east, northeast of Ashland. And now Vaughn is getting probably on the county line. He should be close enough now. We should start to hear from him in just a few moments. Scipio should have some hail associated with that as well. So these are the two areas that probably have most of the intensities showing up right now with that. As far as wind and velocity data, we're going to take a look at that and give you another update on what's happening. So this is the merging going on right now of the cell that's coming up here, and the one that Vaughn has been on has continued to move to the northeast. So again, looking at it from a little bit of a higher elevation here, and we can, has it been on SRX? Is that what you had? Okay, try Twin Lakes if you could, and we'll take a look and see what we have. So overall, from the thunderstorm itself, you're seeing this part of the storm merging. So again, we're up above it a little, or we're into the storm, but you're seeing this whole area. So there is an area right up in here, just west-southwest of Scipio, that is a lot tighter, and then we're seeing what's happening right here. So this is a very damaging wind event, more than likely. I would say 60, 70-mile-an-hour winds, maybe. Some 80-mile-an-hour winds could be possible here, so you could lose power. We are streaming right now, but if you are in this area, we're looking at that's what he is. Okay. Hey, Vaughn, if you're with me right now, can you give me an update on what you're seeing? Because you're literally just a mile or two behind that leading edge of it.
So I'm not seeing anything. I got pretty strong west winds right now, so it must be right straight off to my east. I just had an emergency vehicle go by me. So they're screaming right into it. Anyway, they must have a call or something. Something must have happened up here. So we're going to find out what it is. We're going to try to stay on this. I've not seen any power flashes yet, Travis. to this point.
Hey, what are your west winds? What are they doing? Because I know that you're on the south and west sides of this right now, this meso-low. What do you have for winds? You estimate?
They're kind of keeping up with me, so probably 50.
Okay. All right.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yep, that sounds about right. Okay, thanks. We'll let you get back and holler at us, and Aaron, holler at him or whatever. We'll talk to Vaughn in just a minute. Again, he's just crossed over to Pittsburgh County, and so you see where he's at, just northeast of Stewart. So this is the area. So this is the huge circulation feature. These are the west winds coming in. These are the east winds. So this is why it's rotating right in here. And so we have pivot joints near Haywood right now. This is part of this other cell. So this is where the merging is happening. So we're watching it pretty much happen live right at this moment. And so this is a tightened circulation feature here near Haywood. This is just west of McAllister. So again, Highway 31 near Haywood. Please be in cover at this moment. The potential is pretty high that you're going to run into something. Brandon is right here. Brandon, do you see anything at all to your southwest? I know it's a wall of water, so it's hard to see, but do you have anything you can share with us?
Well, Travis, periodically to the lightning, you're able to see a laminier cloud base there in the horizon there just to our west. Just off a little bit to the left of the camera shot, there is, I'll zoom in here a little bit, there is a little bit of a lowering right there above the tree lines. It's probably, it's hard to say right now, Travis, but right now we've got east-southeast winds feeding into this of 25 miles an hour here at our location.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because that is eating up a lot of shear right in that zone, pulling that in. And so that makes sense. I appreciate it. So that's what we're seeing right there. Stacia's also in the middle of storm tracking. And what do you have for us?
Yes, so I slowed it down. Just the last couple of scans came in a bit slower, so we're now going to move it up at 40, 45. That's still pretty quick, and we're still taking it on the west side of McAllister as it's moving more north, slightly northeast. But Haywood, you need to be in that safe spot, as Trav mentioned. Scipio by 6:30, Ulen up next by 6:37. It does look like the tornado warning for Pittsburgh County, Trav, will expire, but we'll just watch that really closely as it does move into the Haywood area, and then continuing on to Scipio, Ulen staying west of McAllister at this point.
Right. And I just saw that the National Weather Service has decided not to continue the tornado warning. But as we said before, if there's no tornado, great. But there's still going to be strong damaging wind potential for you guys. And so just be advised for what's going on so that it would be some welcome relief as we continue to monitor what's going on right in that zone. So if you are in areas of western Pittsburgh County, that's still a severe thunderstorm warning through 6:30 tonight. Circulation features have been unfortunately strong and indicative of at least wind damage in some of these areas. So if you are in any of these areas, we do want you to be advised for what's going on with these cells. And as Stacia was just pointing out, with the storm track continuing to move to the northeast, wind damage in here and even a spin up is possible. So just because we don't have a tornado warning doesn't mean we're not going to see some wind damage and wind potential or even a quick spin up right in this zone because we still have strong winds pulling on up across this area. We want to go just quickly while we have just a second up to the Tulsa area and be able to show you what's happening here. We have moderate to heavy downpours of rain. John's been watching and monitoring what's going on in Tulsa. John, if you would, are we starting to see any flooding around the Tulsa area?
Well, in every life, some rain must fall, Travis, but this is getting a wee bit silly. We have a lot of heavy rain, and I have checked out most of the, if not all of the flood-prone creeks, Bird, Polecat, Mingo, Hakey, and even Hager Creek, but 81st and Elwood. And they all seem to be doing fairly well right now. This additional rain is going to cause more problems. We do have some issues, I think, with the Fry Ditch Creek in Bixby. That multi-million-dollar project, flood prevention project, has been completed, but brush has been allowed to grow up in the bed. And if we start getting water rushing through there with debris, that could potentially cause some blockage and cause some problems in that area. Back to you.
All right, John, thank you. Yes, indeed. Good point there. And it's interesting for me to note that I have had over 5 inches of rain in my place, and my pond is not even close to running over yet. I'm like, wow, that was so dry for so long. We are looking, though, at additional moderate to heavy rainfall. As you see, the orange and reds, those are the ones that are continuing to show up where we're getting moderate to heavy rainfall. And so with John, where did I lose Who's John? Where's John right now? There he is. So he's in an area that is a little bit lighter precipitation because it looked like it wasn't even hardly raining there. He's just about ready to get hit with this next band of moderate to heavy rain that's coming up across the city, moving from the southwest to the northeast. All right, back down the south for you guys down around McAllister and Pittsburgh County. We're still looking at heavy rain, storms, Okmulgee County. Remember, the tornado watch has been extended into Okmulgee County. We'll just stop here for a minute. And you see Morris getting some storms, lightning, quite a bit going on with this. And then a lot of heavy rains across Okmulgee County right now. Already have picked up 3 to 4 inches of rain. Looks like another quick inch is coming your way right now. As we look at what's happening, nothing major as far as strong damaging wind potential, but just a lot of heavy rain. Watch out for secondary roads or any roads that would potentially be low water crossings. There aren't many in Okmulgee County, but there are some. So just don't cross those. Okay, back into western and northwestern portions of Pittsburgh County and also southwestern Macintosh County. These are the areas with heavy rain, thunderstorm activity. And again, the core of the storm, you see with the lightning and the strong wind potential is where Vaughn is located. We'll go back to Vaughn if we can and get an update. Vaughn, what do you have for us as this is moving to the east along with you?
Yeah, Travis. I have not seen anything that would demand that there's something on the ground or anything like that. I'm starting to get southwest winds now. So possibly that circulation has crossed over 270, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep moving up here, and it won't be fine.
All right. Hey, thanks. And again, you can see from his video, blinding rain pretty much, or just heavy, heavy rainfall continuing across this zone. All right, back to radar again for another update. So the severe thunderstorm warning continues in effect from just around McAllister to the west. Brandon and Vaughn, where's Brandon headed right now? Because Vaughn's going to intercept right where he is. Is he going to move back north?
Brandon's going to move
He's going to
69 and kind of stay ahead of that.
Okay, all right. We can go ahead. Brandon, I want to get an update from you real quick before you get too far down the road. Can you give me an update on what you see and what's been going on before you start to move and get into another position?
Yeah, sure thing, Travis. Well, right now I just had a emergency vehicle and Pittsburgh County Sheriff go westbound here on 270. Not sure what's going on with that, but you can see there in our shot the line that is slowly starting to progress our direction right now. It's still pretty smooth and lavender. I don't see anything that's real ragtag just yet. It's still kind of off there in the distance right now, Travis, but we're still getting anywhere from 15 to 25 mile an hour east-southeast winds feeding into this. So we need to really keep an eye on all of these storms because it doesn't take much, Travis.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate the report. So, again, Vaughn's coming up into that area. And, Vaughn, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but Brandon was just reporting some emergency vehicles coming back on towards you on 270. So this is the area from Haywood and then extending back to the north. Now this main part of the storm has moved through the Scipio area. But, again, you can just tell from all of the lightning, we call it convection area. So that is an area in which is getting, you can see what's kind of like an egg shaped in here almost. So that is pretty much just rotating around itself as that's continuing to drag itself to the north and east. So that'll be happen to move toward Hannah. Maybe I can get that out. And let's go over to Stacia and get a storm track and update there, if you would, Stacia.
And Trav, I have a track for kind of that leading edge of the area that we're going to watch. It's kind of a broad rotation at this point around Scipio over to Lamar. And we're going to keep this up to the north, slightly northeast, at about 40, 45, at times even up to 50. So it is a fast mover tonight. But this is going to take it from Scipio, Lamar, back up to Dustin, to Hannah, Rayford, Indianola also included, Ulen, and then Lena on the back end of the track. So for Scipio, it's now, and then Carson, that's coming up here by 6:30. Hannah by 6:33. Indianola, again, we're going to watch it closely. Most of it staying just to your west, but that'd be by 6:36. Dustin, Rayford closer to 6:40. Canadian Shores also about 6:40, and then Lena at 6:48 as it tracks into the southwestern side of Macintosh County.
All right, thanks, Stacia. And new aerial flood advisory has been just popped out from the National Weather Service. This will be in effect for multiple counties here in eastern Oklahoma. That'll go until 8:15 tonight. That'll be Hennig Creek and Okmulgee, Rogers, Tulsa, Wagner County, and also Muskogee County. So that's going to be under an aerial flood advisory. So that means especially secondary roads or areas that are prone to flooding will have the potential for additional flooding. Some have flooded, but not too many because we were so dry that we've been able to soak up an amazing amount of water. But that is not really going to be too helpful in terms of tonight. So if you do have travel plans, be advised. Also, it extends all the way from Tulsa County into southern Rogers County. And that's mainly for this band of moderate rain that continues to move across areas of really we'll call it the Highway 75 corridor. And so that is where we're seeing most of this at this particular moment. So the action and the amounts of rainfall with this in the past 6 hours, you can see some of these areas, there are very heavy rainfall totals. So we're getting over an inch of rain in some of these areas, up to maybe an inch and a half. And so that's what is really impressive in terms of that. And of course, the storm that's been producing the severe weather and the tornado warnings that we had, that's the one that we continue to watch. Still issuing and watching what's going on down to the south. So just because we don't have tornado warnings in Pittsburgh County doesn't mean we don't have storms just south of Pittsburgh County that could once again move back in. So we had that one cell merge as it moved in where Vaughn is located. Brandon's moving a little bit further to the east. So these cells down here are the ones we're going to be watching. Do we have the Durant radar possible? And we'll take a look at these storms here a little bit. So there's reason to be concerned with some of these cells. So this is some of these right in here, from east of Colgate. So again, that's south of Kiowa. These are going to be moving northeast. So we have a tornado warning on that. We have a tornado warning right here just west of Atoka. And the reason we're showing you that is because that's lining up and getting ready to move back into Pittsburgh County. And then we also have additional storms that are even further south. If we could go down south of Durant for just a minute. So as you look at this is right near Durant and near their radar. And you see this little pendant. That's enough to give us indication that we probably could see a tornado warning issued there. So this is all lined up in this area, and so we want you to be aware. And then, of course, heavy rain, so all that green indicates flood warnings. And so there's just a ton of water. Durant didn't have rain for 2-3 months. And so they're getting the rain, but also we're picking up the storms. All right, coming back into our area, and then we'll have Stacia give us another storm track on what's going on. But this is a new severe thunderstorm warning now. National Weather Service just issuing a new one. This is going to cover, and I'll get out of the way so we can see a little bit more. Brandon's going to be on the leading edge of that as he's moving through McAllister. And so this is a new severe thunderstorm warning. And this will take us about another 45 minutes. This is going to be for Pittsburgh County. And so if you are in Pittsburgh County, this severe thunderstorm is going to be for 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-size hail. And that will go until 7:15. Stacia, do you have an update for us?
I do. So the track on this, it's going to be kind of a longer track here, tracking the whole storm from that leading edge through central Pittsburgh County, just west of McAllister. So this puts it in Savannah here coming up by 6:30, along with Indianola. Again, it's moving more northeast, but it's getting a kind of an easterly push. But we're going to track it to Haley by 6:30, along with Chambers, and then Choctaw Casino, if you're around there, by 6:34. Sam's Point at 6:35. It is a severe thunderstorm warning, but there is a tornado tag to it, as it still has to be watched very closely. Trav.
All right, and thanks. I appreciate that. We're going to continue on the air here for a little while longer as we continue to cover what's going on right in Pittsburgh County. This is a very intense thunderstorm, and it could go back and try to rotate again. The velocity data for the areas, as this storm is now moving into McAllister, we still have very strong indications of winds of 50, 60 miles an hour. Brandon, are you getting any strong winds right now with the storm as you're moving into McAllister?
Travis, I am not. The most winds I have experienced are about 25 to 30, so just gusty at times here along downtown Main Street, McAllister. But if something changes and those winds really start to crank up, I'll be sure to holler and let you know.
Okay. Well, man, we just about saw somebody get run over there. Wow, that person walked out.
Good thing that they were paying attention.
Yeah, that was a little scary. That would have been live on TV. All right, and then let's go back and you can see what right now. So it's coming up over McAllister. Let's go over to Vaughn, get an update real quick. And Vaughn, update from you. Winds, you have any hail? Because you're near the core of that.
I got a little bit of hail, not very much, and it was very, very small. Right here, I'm a couple miles just to the west of the turnpike entrance here. So it's still extremely heavy rain, and the winds were pushing me around quite a bit. So I agree with you. That little area that is just ahead of me and probably behind Brandon is probably still something to deal with. So we'll continue on. Get back with you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So once again, that's the core of the storm right now. Now it has just missed most of McAllister. We're going to get some wind out of it. The rotating part of the storm, you can just kind of see is just kind of in this zone as that continues to track up toward the Hannah area. And Stacia, if we, since we don't have an active tornado warning, we might do one more storm track and maybe go to programming here for a minute and take a quick break. But if you would give us a storm track on what's going on with the storm as it's starting to move up toward the Hannah area.
Yeah, so from Hannah to Indianola, back to Bug Tussle. So we'll track this up to the northeast at 50, that leading edge from Scipio that extends back out just to the northwest of McAllister. And then this is going up into Macintosh County. So that will take it Vernon 638, Rayford by 640, Canadian Shores also about 640, continuing on to Vivian and Lena closer to 650, Stidham, Carter's Corner also at about 650. So this will take the areas that we're watching really closely for circulation around the Scipio area, around Hannah, northwest of McAllister, back up into the western sides of Lake Eufaula, into south central parts of Macintosh County. So if you live in these communities, we don't have anything on the ground at this point. We don't have a tornado warning, but we do want you to pay really close attention and be ready to go if you need to take your safety precautions here. So middle of your home, lowest level away from windows and doors, want you to be ready to take those precautions if you need to. Strong damaging wind potential here. Also, Vaughn didn't see much for hail, and so I think our biggest threat right now would be the strong winds coming in. But Hannah up to Rayford, to Canadian Shores, to Vivian, to Lena, to Stidham, all included in this track. Trav.
All right. Hey, thanks. And one more point just down there to the south and south of Kiowa. We're going to keep our eyes open on what's going on down south here because this is rotating. There's no confirmation of tornadoes, but that's coming up into Pittsburgh County. And so we do want you to just be aware that is a storm that is, we don't have any other information to indicate that there is a impending tornado, but we do have tornado warnings, which is as close as you get to having an actual tornado. But radar indicated at this point, and that is continuing to move to the northeast. So we'll see if the National Weather Service in Tulsa wants to continue this or not. But if you are in this area, and if you're near Kiowa and you're watching in southwestern and western portions of Pittsburgh County, I want you to be aware of what's happening with this cell because this is still a very potent storm. It's the second one to come up into this area. And so we do expect this to still cause some headaches. And we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for this whole area with this with the cell merger that came in, the storm that was over in Hughes County. So that's all part of this right now. So those are the things that are most important. And if you are, again, southwestern Pittsburgh County, we're going to go and we'll take our own commercial break, or we're going to come right back if there's a tornado warning issued. But at this time, it does appear that these are heavy thunderstorms and severe storms with some hail and winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour. So we do anticipate there could be some power outages. We will have that information for. So if you're right in the path of that, you'll get that. Stacia, if you would, give us an update on that.
It's moving northeast at 40, so this is going to be extending it again into the Macintosh County, western side of Lake Eufaula, northwestern portions of Pittsburgh County, Indianola. This is coming up to you here in the next about 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. We do want you in your safe spot, lowest level, interior room, away from windows and doors, as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Then it continues on to Vivian, crossing into Macintosh County. Canadian, that's going to be by 6:49. Vivian by 6:56. Eufaula by 7:01. Folks in Eufaula, really pay attention to this and be ready to go to take those safety precautions. Fame, that'll be in the next 30 minutes. It's a 30-minute track here. And again, that area of circulation right on 113, Trav, just south of Indianola, moving north, slightly northeast at 40 miles per hour. So Indianola, Canadian Shores, if you live along State Highway 13 between Indianola and Canadian, you are in the path. So take those precautions now. Indianola, Canadian Shores, Sam's Point, Canadian, Mellet, Vivian, all included in the track. Trav.
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. So that gives you an idea. We'll widen out just a little bit here and kind of show folks where we're at in the relationship. You can widen out even more if you would. And so let's, yeah, there, a little bit more. I tell you what. And so here's Muskogee, here's Tulsa. So you can see what's going on here. If we have time, we'll talk to John a little bit. We still have that tornado warning just to the south and west of Kiowa and south and west of Pittsburgh County. And we have multiple tornado warnings down here. So you see what's happening. These are transitioning to the northeast. This is an environment just right in here that is really, unfortunately, in a mode in which you can get thunderstorms that grow and then they start spinning right away. Anytime that happens, especially in an atmosphere that is very unstable, then you run into problems. And this is moderately unstable. So we have some problems. And unfortunately, you see a lot of red polygons, which indicates multiple tornado warnings. None of them are flashing. That's about the only good news we have. We have heavy thunderstorms up in the southeast metro area at this time and up into northwestern Muskogee County and western Wagner County. A lot of lightning associated with that. Around the Tulsa area, we do have some rain and thunder, and up to the Claremore area. And so you guys getting rain. We have the aerial flood advisories, so be aware of that. As we say, turn around, don't drown. Brandon is right in the middle of the tornado warning right now, so he is really close to it. Brandon, I want to try to get an update from you as to what's going on in this circulation feature right now. And so if you would, give me an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Travis, so right now we're on 69 moving north. We're half a mile to the south of the Shady Grove exit, half mile. Right now we're just driving through very heavy rainfalls. There's a lot of street flooding going here along 69. We're kind of just creeping up along this the circulation as it looks like it's going to cross 69 somewhere around Crowder. But we're just we're trying to get in a position that if it does happen to cross 69, we'll have maybe a vantage point to get to an idea of what the winds are, and hopefully they're not too bad, but we'll be with you.
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. Also, just to give you an idea, that is a tornado warning that we have right now for south central Macintosh, north central Pittsburgh County, and that will continue until 7 p.m. We are now at 6:43. We apologize for interrupting programming. That's the last thing we want to do, but that is unfortunately what we're dealing with the weather. So if you could, you can turn to 6.3. And then on Cox Cable, channel 53. So again, sorry, but this is obviously a priority right now for folks down south. So if you are in this area, I do want you to be advised for, again, a tornado potential, and it's wrapped up pretty good right in here, or pretty bad, just south of Indianola. So we'd like you to be in your taking cover and be in your safe spot. And that goes on up to the north, as Stacia was telling us with. Also, down to the south, I want to point out something that's going on too. So McAllister, you're getting ready to get the heavy rain and thunderstorm activity. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for you in McAllister. So this is heavy rain, also some strong winds of 60 miles an hour, and a few areas could have some hail, some nickel size. We still have our tornado warnings down to the south. So these are active. And so this is coming into the Kiowa area. So this storm's down around the Colgate area on Highway 69. And so if you travel that going down to Dallas, this is, so it's just south of Kiowa. So you go from McAllister, Savannah to Kiowa, and then just get down to the south, down around Stringtown. So this is you see the pendant located here as well. So this track should take it to the north and east. And so as we look at what's going on with this will continue to move north and east. So there's an updated new tornado warning. You'll see that refined right in this area. And then you have the one down around Stringtown to Otoka, then further down around Tuscaloosa. So again, very active, and we're afraid one of these will be a tornado, if not a few more. And so we have the tornado warnings for that right now along this leading edge, and that's going to continue to bleed off to the east across our eastern, southeastern parts of our viewing area. Vaughn is behind the storm. That's to the north. Brandon's on it. Vaughn is now going to be watching what's going on for McAllister, and he's around the Savannah area. Hey, Vaughn, quick update from you. What are you getting? What are the winds? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm right here at the Army Ammunition plant exit off of 69, looking to the southwest here. Extremely heavy rain, as all these storms have with them. Not getting a lot of strong winds right now, maybe 20, but have had some really strong winds as I was headed south on 69. This area of rotation should be about to my southwest, so we're going to kind of wait on it. There may be a few more little areas pop up also, so we're going to keep an eye out for that too. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much. I wouldn't call it needle in a haystack, but boy, I tell you what, it's kind of that way along that leading edge. Thanks, Vaughn. Appreciate it. So the tornado warning now to the north in northern Pittsburgh County. We're dropping that part because it's not in Pittsburgh County anymore. It's been to the north a little bit further, and that circulation feature now is a little bit weaker, but Brandon's on it as we continue to see right in this zone. So it's not perfect, and so there's still a severe thunderstorm, and you can still see what's going on here. Strong damaging wind potential here. Brandon, another update from you at Crowder. What's going on at Crowder right now?
Okay, right, Travis. So right now we're just going to be south of Crowder. I want to give you an idea on the wind speeds. Probably anywhere from 25 to 35 mile an hour winds. So not real strong. They're out of the southwest. Very heavy rain. A lot of lightning just off to my northwest right now, Travis. We're going to get up here towards Crowder, where that central circulation is, and see if we can get there.
All right, thanks. Appreciate that. So again, the tornado warning is being pulled out of Macintosh and Pittsburgh counties, as we said. These are just kind of what we call short fuse warnings, and so it looks bad, and then it kind of goes into another state. We still have the severe thunderstorm warning that will be in effect for Pittsburgh County. So these are the ones that we have to watch, and it just kind of is, it's great that it ends. It's frustrating that we have to keep kind of watching each one of those, but each one of those continues to be potentially very dangerous. At this point, again, we're back to no tornado warnings in the immediate areas of our viewing area, but we do have a severe thunderstorm that we're going to monitor for a little bit longer. See, that's moving in on Eufaula at this time. Heavy rain and thunderstorms associated with that. Some strong winds, but not as strong as they were just a moment ago when it was wrapping up. And then as we look back to the south, and I want to look back from Savannah. So Vaughn right now is getting into some really heavy rainfall at this time, and so he's getting a ton of that. And then just south from Kiowa and extending back to the south, that's where we're watching the additional storms that are rotating and trying to come on up. The new tornado warning now is going to be just across the extreme. I mean, it's going to be pushing potentially into southern Pittsburgh County between Kiowa and Pinetop. So we're going to be in the hilly terrains of southeastern Oklahoma here a little bit more. It's easy to kind of get around as long as you're on Highway 69, but once you get off of that highway, then you have to kind of pick and choose where you can get vantage points and see what's going on. But right around the Flora area, and then Berg, and then which is going to be southwest of Kiowa. I just want you to be advised for Pittsburgh County. And then back up into our area and what's going on around Tulsa. We're going to give you a quick update for what's happening here. Our tornado warning was canceled, as we said. Most of the heavy rains around the Tulsa area now are on the east side of town. The west side is not as heavy, so the back side is starting to clear out a little bit. I can't believe I'm saying I'm glad, because I've got enough water for right now. I'd like to save a little bit for later, but we're seeing a lot of water. John has been in the middle of that. John, update from you on our flood advisory. What's going on?
Well, I'm in Broken Arrow, and I can tell you that leaves are not our friend. They're being washed out of the yards and the right-of-way and being deposited right at the storm drains, and that is causing those drains to clog. And we're getting some curbside flooding brought on by those clogged drains. And if this keeps up, that could become a bigger problem for us. Back to you.
All right, yeah, and some of the heaviest of the rains right now on the east-southeast sides. And it's just that time of year. There's going to be a bunch of leaves, especially after the wind was blowing and going last night and probably stripped off about half the tree leaves and some tree limbs and a few trees. I had a big tree fall on one of my farm buildings, and so I'm not very happy about that. When I found that today, I was like, what happened? Anyway, we're looking at heavy to strong thunderstorm. Look how much lightning is occurring with the storm down around Coweta. You guys, this is going to keep you awake from Wagner to Coweta on Highway 51. Not anything bad at this moment, but it is a lot of lightning and a lot of additional heavy rains falling through this area. So this has been moving on up from around Haskell, Porter areas, now just west of Wagner and Coweta. So good rains, filling ponds, all that, and that's moving northeast. Don't see any hail. Do you see any hail with that at this point? I don't see anything going on. There may be just a pea-sized hail or something could pop up out of that. So that's about it. All right, so we're going to continue for another 10 minutes. If we don't get a new tornado warning, we'll go back to our programming. And but we do want to advise you as well. We do have our aerial flood advisories for Tulsa, and then extending into western Wagner County, into southwestern Rogers County, also through Okmulgee County, and through really all of Okmulgee County, and then extending into the western half of Macintosh County. And then you see our severe thunderstorm now through Pittsburgh County. Let's go back to Brandon, and we'll talk to Vaughn in just a minute. Brandon, update from you as you move through that line of storms.
Well, Travis, as that line of storms moved through, we didn't experience really strong winds, probably anywhere from about 35 to maybe 40 at times. Just a lot of torrential rain falling here at our current location. A lot of flooding here along ponding here along 69, Travis, and we're going to get up here tonight and try to east of these storms and stay with them. Thanks.
All right. Hey, thanks, Brandon. Really appreciate it. So again, a severe storm at this point, continuing to show up in that area. And you can see from the colors what's going on. So this is still wrapped up in overall. And so that's in the mid-levels of this thunderstorm as that moves to the north and to the east. And then we have additional strong winds associated with the storm down around the Bug Tussle area. We might look at it in 3D too if we get a chance. And so this is around the McAllister area right now. So we should have some gusty winds right in that area. Vaughn is a little bit further to the south. And while we're getting ready to set up our 3D radar, let's talk to Vaughn for a minute. Vaughn, what's it like just down south of McAllister?
Yeah, still pouring rain here, Savannah. I'm just kind of waiting for this cell that is right on 69, moving up from Stringtown to Kiowa to Savannah. And we'll probably have to go east with it. But so far, haven't seen any hail with any of this, even though there's probably a little bit with it, but not too big. The rain is just incredibly long and hard. So we'll stay with it. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks so much. Appreciate that. Again, pretty amazing what's going on. We still do have a threat, and we have our tornado watch until 8 o'clock tonight for areas pretty much along I-40 and south. And there's some of the latest data continues to show up that there still could be a few of those going on for several more hours, especially as it moves over into western Arkansas. So that's not out of the realm of possibility that some of this is going to be extended well beyond the 8 p.m. hour as we're at coming up on 7 o'clock right now. And you do see right now a confirmed tornado now associated with this cell that's south of Kiowa. And so that is now a confirmed tornado. So when it's flashing, that's indicative of a tornado that is confirmed on the ground. When they are in the red solid, that means radar has indicated it from circulation features, and so that's what we're looking at there. Three-dimensional look of what's going on. Here's a look at what's happening. Here's that one cell that's just south and west of McAllister, and then you see the cells that are moving through the McAllister area right now. So that's why we don't have a lot of areas that are hanging up there, so to speak, in the thunderstorm. So we're not seeing a whole lot of hail development with this. This is, we have a very strong updraft region that is showing up across that area just south and west of Kiowa, and so that is an active tornado at this particular moment. If that continues its track, Stacia, if you could give us an idea of where that is headed into Pittsburgh County, that'd be great.
Yeah, so this one is going to be tracking potentially south of Kiowa into south central parts of Pittsburgh County. It's more of a northeast track here, and we'll track it up again into the southern side, south central sides of Pittsburgh County. I'm going to move it at about 40, and that's going to be up to the northeast. I'm just going to adjust the track here slightly, and that will take it towards from the Limestone Gap, which folks that live in Limestone Gap, they need to be in their safety precautions now. But Wesley by 7 o'clock. Now Pine Top and Blanco, that's in Pittsburgh County. That's going to be by 7:16, 7:18. And we're watching again the storm as it moves up into south central parts of Pittsburgh County. Vaughn is heading southbound to intercept that, Trav. So we'll bring more updates.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So in McAllister right now, maybe a little bit of pea-sized hail, gusty winds, 30 to 40 miles an hour associated with that cell. And so we do want you just to make sure that, we're watching it along with you. But at least in McAllister right now, conditions are not looking too awful bad, and so we're happy about that. Some additional rain and thunder will be likely across much of the southeastern parts of our viewing area, and so just be aware of what's going on there. Also, we do have just around the Crowder area, you can see what's happening just on the north side of McAllister. So we still have this happening, which we don't like. Did you have some?
John had an update from the Broken Arrow area. He says he's getting 40-mile-per-hour winds and extremely torrential rains.
Okay. We're going to go up there in just a moment. Then we'll talk to him. So this is, again, from around the Bug Tussle area. Still circulation feature right in there. That's coming up across the lake. So if you are in this area, just be advised for strong winds, 60 miles an hour or more, and it's under a severe thunderstorm warning. And you do see a little bit of that starting to show up with our shear indications. So as that moves across the western part of the lake and southwestern parts of the lake, from Bug Tussle and extending back on up a little bit further north to just south of Eufaula itself. All right, so that's a look there. Let's take a look back to the north for a moment and give you an update from John. You can see John's in Broken Arrow. Again, that's part of the backside of this heavy, heavy thunderstorm that's been in the Tulsa area. John, update from you. What do you have?
Right now on 161st Street, just past 81st, and I'm in torrential rain. Curbside flooding, as you can see, is just barely passable through here. And I've had just a few pings of hail with this, and this just popped up out of nowhere just a few minutes ago. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. Very good as far as getting into the location to see what's cooking. And so we do have, at this point, very heavy downpours of rain. You can see what John's driving through. Again, if you can just wait a little bit, most of that heavy rain will be moving out of Broken Arrow, at least the heavy rain. And so that hopefully will save us from getting into too much trouble. And boy, I tell you, a lot of people are driving awful fast in wet roads. And you just kind of forget that, you know, you hydroplane, and then all of a sudden you're in trouble. The worst feeling in the world to me is when you lose control of your car on ice or hydroplaning. Those are two things I'd never want to have happen again in my life. But anyway, this is an area in which, again, strong winds blowing and going right through here. Stacia's put that on together for us so we can see it. So that's through the east side of Broken Arrow and going on into western Wagner County right now and just northwest of Coweta. Looks embedded into the heavy rain. So just be aware, it's not severe right now, but there are some pea-sized hail. In fact, the hail core has come up on the cell that's right now that it moved from Coweta and Wagner along Highway 51. Now that's moving north, and that's in southeastern portions of Rogers County and getting ready to move into southwestern Mays County. So again, pretty intense little thunderstorm going on with this one. So this, we're going to call this a heavy thunderstorm advisory for this one because this is a very intense thunderstorm, tons of lightning, cloud-to-ground lightning coming up into Mays County. So you will get enhanced rainfall and flooding potential. Let's go back down the south one more time. Let's see, we've only got about a minute or so left before the top of the hour, before we need to go. The severe thunderstorm warning still going on McAllister area. And so that is still a lot of rain, gusty winds, leading edge now running from around Blocker and extending back down to Alderson and just west of Hartshorn. And then you can see still strong gusty winds. So this is very turbulent right now on the northern side of Pittsburgh County and southern Macintosh County. So you should have 40 to 50 mile an hour winds and gusty wind conditions across the southern end of the lake. And that is going to continue and probably be from Carlton Landing back to the south. And the other storm back to the south a little bit further is the one that's just down to the south. Again, this cell is moving northeast, and so it's near Kiowa. Vaughn is near Savannah. Vaughn, one more quick update from you. Do you see anything? What's going on with that?
No, and you can't see anything in this blinding rain. This is like 20 mile an hour driving rain, so cannot see anything. I'm just getting ready to get out of Savannah. I will have a look down that way, so possibly I can see if there's something, power flashes. If something's on the ground, there may be some power flashes. So I'll keep on it. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks to all of our trackers are out tonight. We have Bob Roloff. We haven't talked to him much. He's intercepting the storms that are coming across I-40. All right. That's the latest look at what's going on. We're going to go back to programming. Hopefully, we don't have to interrupt any more programming. But, of course, if there's anything bad, we will let you know. And, of course, during our commercial breaks as well. Keep it here. We'll keep you advised.